Releasing during a low point in young adult literature, the release of the first Harry Potter book in 1997 almost immediately became popular. It kicked off a franchise that would go on to become one of the biggest and most beloved IPs in the world. There were movies, toys, candy, and of course, video games. The first game was LEGO creator Harry Potter. It was okay. It did match the look of the actual Harry Potter LEGO sets though, which was cool. Even down to some of the unique individual pieces that came with the sets. There was also Harry Potter for the Game Boy Color, a sometimes frustrating RPG, and another on the Game Boy Advance. I played all of these as a kid, eventually, and I have somewhat positive memories of the Game Boy Advance game, but my first real immersive experience in the world of Harry Potter was on the PlayStation, right on time with the first movie. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, or Philosopher's Stone depending on where you lived, hit theaters in November of 2001. The books had been out for a few years at this point, so people were really looking forward to the movie, myself included. I was very much into Harry Potter, caught up on the 4 books that existed at the time, so getting the first 3D step into the world of Harry Potter for Christmas that year was huge. I still remember firing it up Christmas afternoon on a little 10-inch CRT. The game is a bit cheesy, and there isn't a ton of meat to it, but for a young fan of Harry Potter, at the time, it was awesome. We'll talk about the gameplay itself and locations that you visit, but I want to start with my favorite part, the music. The music in the movies was done by John Williams, of course, and it is iconic. But while the movie was in production, composer Jeremy Soule was also working on the soundtrack for this game, and he nailed it. It's totally its own thing, but it feels like Harry Potter. Something to note with the music though, it's not always playing. Sometimes at the beginning of a stage or during something like Quidditch you'll hear it, but then other times you're jumping around in a dungeon with just echoes and grunts from your character. The game opens with a shot of a book on a desk. As you get closer, it opens up and the narrator reads some lines from the first book. We see Hagrid on his motorcycle, Harry getting his first Hogwarts letter, a shot of the Dursleys. The character design is definitely taking from the film, though the game and movie were being created at the same time. We see Harry get sorted into Gryffindor, and it's time for the actual game to start. I would have enjoyed getting to play through the parts of the story before Harry goes to Hogwarts, but it makes sense they didn't want players going through an hour of being miserable at your aunt and uncle's house for newcomers to the series. And I was very disappointed you didn't get to go to Diagon Alley to buy all of your school supplies and whatnot. That was always my favorite location in the Harry Potter universe, but turns out you do get to check out Diagon Alley just later in the game. The voice acting isn't bad, honestly. Dumbledore sounds fine.
Welcome to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. I am Albus Dumbledore, your headmaster.
The paintings have some inspired voice work.
Well done, young Gryffindor. That is indeed the correct password. I guess I'll have to open up for you now.
Fred and George sound like Ron from the movie.
Hello there, Harry. We have a proposal for you.
Nearly Headless Nick is cool. He has a weird reverb delay effect on his voice to make him sound a little more ghostly. It works.
Snails have escaped from a Care of Magical Creatures class. Careful, they're dreadfully poisonous.
For better or worse, this game has a lot of platforming. One of the first tasks you have is to rescue your owl Hedwig from Malfoy, who decided to climb a tower by jumping between pieces of flooring jutting out from the walls. The game's pretty on rails. Later at Gringotts, it'll literally be on rails. Eventually, you'll learn to fly a broom. It just has you flying through some floating rings. It's boring, but the music is great, and you're on a broom. You're Harry Potter. You'll learn spells in a pretty repetitive Simon Says style minigame, but the teachers and different class environments look pretty good.
Watch my wand move and press the symbol button it points to. Complete each sequence 3 times to learn the spell Wingardium Leviosa.
One cool thing that the movies never touched on was Peeves the Poltergeist. He's a troublemaking ghost that's pretty prominent in the books, but did not make it into the final cut of the first movie, though they did film some scenes with him. Like the books, he's mostly here just to cause problems and move things along.
Oh, I'm Peeves, Potter, and you better watch out for me.
Eventually, you'll get to play an actual Quidditch match. It's mostly just flying through rings, but you can hear the crowd cheering, there's an announcer commentating things, the music is great. It's over really quick, and it's easy. I mean, this is hard to fail, but it leaves an impression.
He's getting closer! Potter's going for it! Good catch! Potter has the snitch!
On the other end of the over-the-top grand moment that is the first Quidditch game, there's also some stealth in the game, and I've personally never been a fan of stealth sections in non-stealth games. I feel like it slows it down, it's usually not fun, and that kind of sums it up for this one. In the books, Harry is gifted an invisibility cloak for Christmas, and it becomes an important artifact for the rest of the story. In the game, you'll collect the invisibility cloak like a power-up. You'll use it to sneak through the Forbidden Corridor, where Filch and Mrs. Norris are looking for you.
No indeed. Dumbledore has ordered that no students are to enter this corridor.
Now for my favorite part of the game, Diagon Alley. I was so relieved when I saw you get to go there later in the game. There's not much there, and there's a lot of loading screens, but it was cool to see that cozy street with all of the shops, even though most of them are closed. When you get to Gringotts, the bank, you slide around on some freshly mopped floors for a bit, and then you'll ride the minecarts into the caverns under the bank where all the vaults are. There's some obstacles to avoid, some coins to collect. It's like Quidditch, where it's not very long or difficult, but it's kind of memorable. You'll also go to a few other shops before leaving Diagon Alley, but it's mostly mini games.
Wingardium Leviosa!
The final stretch of the game, of course, starts with getting past Fluffy, the 3-headed guard dog. The way to get past Fluffy is to play music. You'll play a tune of the game's OST actually on a flute, and it's over pretty quick. The Devil's Snare is in there, the flying around looking for the right key, more basic broom flying through hoops, and of course, Wizard's Chess. I loved chess as a kid, I still love chess. I remember hoping it would be an actual full game of chess. When you get there, Hermione tells you that Ron's been playing, and you're supposed to go in and finish it off. But when you go in, there's a few pieces, they're all basically identical, a few black, a few white, and then you move like a king, maybe? I don't know what they were going for. And then also you have pieces of the same color attacking and crushing the same color. Finally, you have the showdown with Voldemort. In the first phase, there's a pit between you, various suits of armor come to life. Once you beat all of them, you enter the next room where the Mirror of Erised is, of course. There's a health bar for the boss at the bottom of the screen that looks funny. Near the end of the fight, it ends with a really awkward sequence of Voldemort like on top of you, you know, like trying to strangle you. And it's telling you to press X to hurt Quirrell, Professor Quirrell, of course, the teacher that Voldemort had taken over his body, or the back of his head at least. It will also prompt you to spam the square button for energy. Finally, you black out in the middle of this and you wake up in a loading screen. Then, as the game started, we are back to the book to finish things off. Dumbledore tells you what happened, Like in the book, he mentions that this is all top secret, so naturally the whole school knows. Slytherins won the House Cup until Dumbledore announces some last-minute points to award. Notably, only Harry is given some points. He's given 60, and that's enough to win the House Cup. In the books, Hermione and Ron are both awarded points, as is Neville Longbottom, which gives them just enough to put them in the lead over Slytherin. Harry Potter's first gaming experience in 3D is not perfect, far from it. But for the time it came out, if you were the right age and already a fan, it was awesome. I didn't care about the graphics or how simple the gameplay was. Those were not even terms I was thinking at that time. I don't think I was capable of thinking like that. I was just happy to have it. And while I do love this game, I would never suggest to someone that they need to go back and play it. This is just one of those moments in gaming and pop culture in general that I think you just had to be there for.
It was the best evening of Harry's life. Better than winning at Quidditch or Christmas or knocking out mountain trolls. He would never, ever forget tonight.